Hey kids, welcome back to this week's Children's Ministry Online. Let's get into our worship, story, and craft for this week.
Over mountains high, through the valleys low, God is good. Wherever we go, from the brightest days to the darkest nights, God is good all the time. Oh, 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 God is good. Oh, oh, snow to the vast unknown, everywhere we go, God is good. Through the trials we face, He will show the way. We will stand and say that God is good. Oh, 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 God is good. Oh, oh, around. Our God is good. When nothing goes our way and it's just not our day, our God is good. Oh, 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 God is good. Oh, oh, over mountains high, through the valleys low, God is good. Wherever we go, from the brightest days to the darkest nights, God is good. Over mountains high, through the valleys low, God is good. Wherever we go, from the brightest days to the darkest nights, God is good all the time. Oh, 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 God is good. Oh, God is good.
Psalms 41 and 2. I waited patiently for the Lord. He turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and mire. He set my feet on a rock, gave me a firm place to stand. He set my feet on a rock, gave me a firm place to stand. Set my feet on a rock, yeah, and here I am. I waited patiently for the Lord. He turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and mire. He set my feet on a rock, gave me a firm place to stand. He set my feet on a rock, gave me a firm place to stand. Set my feet on a rock, yeah, and here I am. Waited patiently for the Lord. He turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and mire. He set my feet on a rock, he gave me a firm place to stand. He set my feet on a rock, gave me a firm place to stand. Set my feet on the rock, yeah, and here I am, hey, hey. Here I am, here I am, here I am.
All right, let's get into our story for today. We'll be reading from the Jesus Storybook Bible, and our story for today is The Man Who Didn't Have Any Friends, Not One, which is the story of Zacchaeus from Luke 19. There was once a man who didn't have any friends, not one. Do you have any friends? Well, of course you do, but not Zacchaeus. Poor Zacchaeus didn't have any. I mean, you're probably wondering why. Was it because he was a little short? Well, that's not any reason to not like someone. Was it because he had a name that was hard to say? Well, that's not another reason to not like someone. Even though he was short and he did have a funny name, that was not the reason. No. People didn't like Zacchaeus because he stole their money. Zacchaeus collected taxes. Taxes were what people paid the king. But Zacchaeus took more than he was supposed to, and he kept the extra money for himself, and he made himself rich off of it. Everyone knew that he was up to, and he made them cross and grumpy. They didn't like Zacchaeus one bit. So they made sure that he knew it by doing things like avoiding him and walking on the opposite side of the street and pretending not to see him and whispering things like, "There's that nobody who thinks he's a somebody." They said it loud enough so that he could hear it. Anyway, one day, a huge crowd gathered by the road. Jesus was coming to their town, and everyone wanted to see him. Zacchaeus wanted to see Jesus too, but everyone was too tall. He tried jumping up and down, but that didn't work. He couldn't see a thing. Luckily, Zacchaeus had a good idea. "I'll climb that sycamore tree," he said, and so he did. He was surprisingly good at climbing trees for a man who was so unusually short that he had to take a flying leap just to get into the chair in the morning. From the tree, Zacchaeus had the perfect view, all the way down the road. Another minute, and suddenly Jesus was at the tree. He stopped and looked up. Zacchaeus saw Jesus, and Jesus said, "Zacchaeus, I'd like to come over to your house." Zacchaeus almost fell out of the tree. Come over to his house? No one ever wanted to come anywhere near his house, let alone inside of it. The people saw this, and, well, needless to say, it made them even crosser and jumpier than usual. They mumbled and murmured and muttered, "Why is Jesus being kind to that big sinner? Doesn't Jesus know about him?" Zacchaeus scrambled down and took Jesus to his house. He was in a big hurry because he didn't want Jesus to change his mind. Perhaps Jesus hadn't heard about him. Perhaps Jesus didn't know about how he had been stealing and how no one liked him and how he didn't have any friends. But Jesus knew. He knew all about Zacchaeus and the stealing and everything, but he still loved him. Zacchaeus was ashamed. "Lord," he said, turning pale, "what I've done is wrong, but now I want to do the right thing. I will give the money back to everyone, 4 times what I stole." And that's just what he did. Jesus smiled. "My friend," he said, "today God has rescued you." Jesus loved Zacchaeus when nobody else did. He was Zacchaeus' friend, even when no one else was, because Jesus was showing people what God's love was like. his wonderful, never stopping, never giving up, unbreaking, always and forever love. Such an encouraging story, and it's so great to know that when we want to follow in Jesus's footsteps, we just need to love on those that even are not good to us and show them that love of Jesus, because that's what Jesus would do. This is such an incredible story, and I really hope that you enjoyed reading it with me. So let's get into our craft. Alrighty, now we are going to get into our craft. So let's talk about the supplies that we're going to need. So I have 2 pieces of paper. I have a glue stick and regular liquid glue. And then I have tape, some scissors, and then I found these extra cloth patches just around the church, and we're going to be making the tree that Zacchaeus is sitting and waiting in and trying to see Jesus. So I thought that if we were to cut these up, it would make a really cool design on the tree. So you are welcome to find whatever you would like to use to decorate your tree. You can just use colored pencils and markers. You could use paint, and you could paint your thumb or the rest of your fingers and use that to make leaves around the tree. You could get some fabric swatches or just other things that you've found in your house and cut them up into different shapes to make leaves. Just be creative with this. So grab your paint or your swatches or your colored pencils and markers. And then I have colored pencils and markers on my side just to add a little bit of color as well. So go ahead and grab your supplies, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, now that you have gotten your supplies, we are going to start out with 1 piece of white paper. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw the trunk and the branches of the tree. You want to do it more to the right side of the paper, that way we have some room to draw Jesus on this side and Zacchaeus up in the tree. So I'm going to get brown because that's the color of most trees' trunks. And I'm just gonna draw it right over here on the side. You can view what I did just right over here. Alrighty, so once you have drawn your tree, as you can see, I made just a little ledge, and that can be something, or one of the branches that Zacchaeus is sitting on. But if you didn't draw that, we're gonna be drawing him on this extra piece of paper and cutting him out and gluing him on, so you can pretty much just glue him wherever you want. So now we are going to make the leaves, or the little bushy things that come out of the tree. So I'm going to cut up some of these little fabric swatches that I have, and then also add some color with marker and colored pencils. If you have paint, go ahead and you can paint your fingertips and just kind of put them anywhere on here. You can make a bunch or you can make a little, just whatever you want to do. And I will meet you back here once you have designed your tree. Okay, so once you have made your tree and you've decorated it however you would like to, now we are going to draw Zacchaeus and Jesus. So we'll take our next piece of paper and we will draw Jesus over here standing, and then we'll draw Zacchaeus kind of sitting in a tree looking like he's sitting, and we're gonna cut him out and then glue him onto here. So you can draw both of them however you would like, however you view and think that they look. Just Jesus standing and Zacchaeus sitting. All right, so once you've drawn Zacchaeus and Jesus, go ahead and cut them out of your piece of paper. Okay, so now that I've cut them out, I'm going to glue Zacchaeus into the tree on the little branch that I left him. You can glue him wherever you would like, just making sure that he can see Jesus from up high. So I'll put him right there. And then I'm going to glue Jesus just right down here. Once I've glued both of them down, then I can do some decoration around here. So I'm going to leave this area open so that I can write a little verse to remind myself of what this craft is about. But I'll probably draw some green grass on the bottom here, maybe some bushes, and decorate just kind of all around here. All right, maybe you can even draw a nice sun. Okay, so now right here we are going to write, Jesus said, Zacchaeus, come down. I want to go to your house. And that is just going to show us why he was in the tree and what Jesus said to him once he found Zacchaeus in that tree. So go ahead, choose a color. I will choose, we'll just go with gray and write. Perfect. Now you can decorate this however else you would like, maybe draw some extra stuff down here. But this is going to be our craft for today to remind us about the story of the tax collector Zacchaeus and Jesus when he came into town. Thanks for joining me for this week's craft. Thanks for watching this week's Children's Ministry Online. Remember to show us some of the crafts that you made on our Facebook page. And if you want to follow along to us reading with the Jesus Storybook Bible, you can head on to our website or our app and you can get a free Jesus Storybook Bible. You can follow along as we read, and it's just a great resource for you all to be able to have. So ask your parents to help you sign up for a free Jesus Storybook Bible, and we will get that to you as soon as we can. Have a great week, and thanks for watching.